Good evening. Happy Monday? Monday, ladies
Monday.
and jelly spoons. NGS season 14 Division C West, final week of the regular season, playoff implications all on the line, all of the fake marbles um, heavily influenced here tonight. USAE versus Bork. Joining me is Rock. What up, bud?
Hi, doing good. Yeah, I'm excited to cast. I said these are both really fun groups of people. I really like our division. Lots of fun
Yeah,
folks and
totally.
good friends over the last several years. So it's cool to see Bork Side of the Moon, especially Silver Spy and friends that have played for a long time, and getting to see veterans like Fracture and all them over on USA
Yeah, we're
Esports.
we're very
Mhm.
lucky. Our division's been really good, competitive, and everyone's been, good vibes, good energy, no unpleasantness or anything like that. So excellent to see there. But let's flip over to the standings and my 5 seconds of cast prep. I put
Mhm.
the standings up there and look at these guys. Bork's out of the moon, currently the number 5 seed with 18 points. USAE clinging to the number 8 seed with 15 points, but only 5 points between 8 and 3.
Wow,
That
it's
middle
quite
to
the shakeup.
bottom, yeah, is very close. And Crimson Fives is only 3 games behind that. So lots and lots of shifting available between these squads.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see where they land. I feel like at the beginning of the season there was some clear front runners, and then some teams like I look at Greg there on that list, and Greg kind of was bottom of the pack, and then I feel like Greg hasn't dropped a game or sorry hasn't dropped a series until playing last week against CCS. So it's good to see that they're still up there towards the top. And then we're looking also at Fountain Snipers and a couple others. They were looks like they were running pretty hot early on in the season, and so now as we're finishing up, everyone's scraggling for every point. It's crazy to think that every game matters, right? Like most of the time, you get towards the end of the season and you're like, oh, it doesn't really matter if we win or if we just get 1 point or whatever. Like we're pretty much set. But no, like any position can be changed. Except I think Roll One
Yeah,
might have the clinch
I'm pretty
of
sure we're clinched because we have the tiebreak on CCS.
Okay. I haven't looked that deep into
Yeah.
it, but that sounds good though. So yeah, so two, yeah, even well, we're not casting Clouded Minds or Greg, but it's like it looks like even two could be upset here. But yeah, I'm excited. I said this should be a good game. Do you have any ideas on map bans or what they're doing so far?
Well, that's a great segue there, Rock. Here are our map bans. We are still a bit in the dark on map pick. It will be selected by U.S. Army Esports, but we have not seen the lobby yet. So Volskaya, Cursed Hollow banned by USAE, Dragonshire, and Tomb banned
Mhm.
by Bork. And yeah, that looks good to me. I don't particularly enjoy casting Volskaya anyway, so there we go.
I Man, they really do need to just revamp that map. Like
Yeah,
I,
we know they're
the,
not going to. My
the whole
issue with it
maintenance mode thing.
is if you get up, you get you you're up a talent tier, you keep stealing the other team's toys, right? So you steal their
Hmm.
turret, you steal the biotic emitter because you're up in a talent tier. It's difficult for them to stop you from doing that. And then the other team gets to the same talent tier before objective, but you're still in an advantage because you have all the toys. So I think it adds a kind of an extra snowball element that doesn't exist on a lot of the other maps, except for Black Hearts, which isn't a real map anyway.
Hmm.
So it makes it very difficult to hold on to the game when you're behind. Sometimes on that map you can be down a talent tier and you're like, hey, let's just skirmish and see if we can get them to drop an item.
Awesome. Oh, looks like I see the lobby.
Yeah, I
It's a
saw
real
it,
game.
and it
Oh
is
man.
the most awesome of awesome maps,
Hmm.
and that would be Towers of Doom. As soon as I can find it, there she blows.
All
Selected by
right.
USAE for game number one. Looks like
Hmm.
we have most of the lobby. Still waiting for one more from Bork, and there
Hmm.
we go.
Yeah, I think it honestly is a very dynamic and fun map. The fact that you can't just go and rush core means that these games tend to go late. They tend to
Yeah,
go
they
to
do.
20s, and there's some good tug of war opportunities. It's kind of weird. You really don't feel like you should give up the objective, but there's several times where, you know, sometimes it's not worth fighting over. You got out rotated, you're reclaiming a building, you're taking the boss, whatever it may be. You're just like, you know what? You can have that. We're it's like we're gonna go do something else instead of banging your head against the objective at a game point scenario. It doesn't happen till way later in the match.
Yeah, I mean we've all seen if you played this game for long enough, especially competitive, we've all seen the Towers of Doom massive comeback, right? Where one team is down like 21-1 or 25-2 or something, and just something crazy happens, and at this, most of their maps, it's oh, we won our team fight at level 21, we just burn through that bottom keep and in the game, and you can't do that. That interaction doesn't exist, and so it just kind of sets up that it's like the opposite of the Volskaya we were talking about.
Okay. No, it's as I said, it's amazing to be able to see the different strategies and things people play here too. Because if you, I don't know, it feels like people prioritize a lot of the globals, so that way they can, channel top, and then like a Dahaka can maybe dig in and force some unbalanced fights. You see a lot of people prioritize things that are double soak and trying to just continue to find ways to fight and push for that dominant control of bottom lane. So it'll be interesting to see with what they do and how they decide to play, if that's where they want to focus their attention, or if they're going to go for some crazy late game scaling comp and pick, I don't know, Nazebo, Zeratul, and Joanna, like everyone that scales at level 20 and just win the game once you hit 20.
So worth noting, I think, as we teams get ready to go here. So this game is huge for both teams, but U.S. Army Esports in particular. As we get
Towers
going
of
here, let me switch to
Doom.
the draft screen. USAE in particular. So they are currently clinging to the number 8 seed. This will be their last regular season game, and they're 3 points ahead of Crimson 5. Crimson 5 has the tiebreaker, and Crimson 5 has two matches left. Granted, two very difficult matches, but if U.S. Army Esports picks up even 1 point in this matchup, that means C5 can't take one domination and knock them out. They need to take points in both matchups. So if USAE actually gets a 2-0, then they force Crimson 5 to have to dominate both of their matchups. So like every point in this matchup for USAE is absolutely huge. And on the flip side, Bork can, in theory, climb as high as the 3 seed if they dominate here. So get out of the bottom half of the bracket and into the upper half of the bracket where they get the auto coin flip win. And in
That'd be
theory,
huge.
maybe an opponent not quite as strong, although I think that's less of a consideration in our division where everybody's very close.
Yeah, this season everyone has taken games off one another. There's several 2-1 victories, and so no one's really been a clear dominant force. So it's cool to see that essentially every game everyone has a chance. So enough of our chit chat and looking at this draft. We see that Bork Side of the Moon has banned out Greymane and Garrosh, and we've got a disconnect.
A disconnect.
Never
Well,
mind.
womp
Well,
womp.
red
I
goes
assume
in.
I assume the bans will stay.
Yep. I'll just write it down just in
Yep.
case. We have a Gray and a Gary, and then a Vala
Yep.
from USAE.
Yeah, that
So
Greymane ban. They followed the Division C ping from earlier. Uh, and while that was funny, I think it's also true, man. They showed some really good Greymane play. Did
mhm.
USAE and on towers with the um, prioritization on the bottom mercs, really good.
So that's what it was. I was about to ask. So not to get fractured in trouble. So he was playing on his USA East Fracture account,
Ah,
and it's
keeping bans. Excellent. Yeah, there you go. Keep those bans. All right, here we go. I'm ready to click the draft screen again.
ready again. Ready
Yes.
again.
Welcome back
Of
to Towers of
Doom.
Doom.
Welcome back. It's almost like we never left. But yeah, the the fracture on the Greymane is the few games that he's gotten to play with it this season. He's posted a great win rate and has been a big contributing factor. So seeing them ban out Greymane isn't much of a surprise, especially if you don't have a Greymane player yourself. And then in response, seeing them banning out Vala is definitely interesting. I think that everybody has played kind of all of this season, not necessarily a an abusive pick, but it definitely can be troublesome if Vala is allowed to just continue to auto siege and auto hit things for free. And we talked about earlier how this game can sometimes go to 20s, and Vala can take stacking W's and maybe scale up really high. And that Junkrat's ban too.
Yeah, I mean,
So
I'm
interesting.
kind of glancing at the numbers here. So
Mm-hmm.
7 Greymane games for USA this season. How many wins?
Uh,
7.
is it 7?
It is
Oh
7.
gosh.
That so I mean, if you're just if you're gonna do like your 30 seconds of scouting, that should be like the first thing that jumps out at you, right? So that's a
hmm
big no surprise there.
Yeah. So first pick Joe. Joe still very strong, very good in essentially all positions. I even saw some chatter the other day, people talking about picking Flex Joanna for additional, DPS wave clear type stuff. So, but yes, Joe very strong and something that Matlock has played quite a few times this season.
Well, not just that, I looked it up. So 7 Greymane games, 15 Greymane bans. If
Oh my
my
gosh.
quick math tells me that's 22 out of 23 USAE games where Greymane is participating one way or the other. Is the one game I'm not going this far? Maybe he just wasn't
Mhm.
there.
He just wasn't. He had to miss,
He missed that
maybe.
game.
Yeah. But following up on the rest of Bork's draft real quick, we have Silver Spy playing Anduin, and Tin actually got
I
Phoenix.
I just noticed that too. I'm very surprised. Tin got
hmm
Phoenix. He is kind of renowned for his Phoenix play. He's a really good
hmm
Phoenix player.
hmm
Um,
They, I see. He even put out a couple like tutorial videos for
yeah.
like the can't counter speak stupid teaching and learning sessions. So
Yep.
definitely someone who knows that character very well, and to see it there, and of course the obligatory variant ban,
Sure.
right?
Yep.
Variant with that shield smash
Totally.
can make it to where Phoenix's health pool is gone.
And not just that, the taunt can, if you're quickie with it, you can interrupt the teleport too.
Mm. What do you think USA East is looking for then here? They've got their off lane. They picked really fast.
They
So
did.
there you go.
So they're
That's
looking
what they got.
they're looking for a blow up, which can be difficult into Anduin already showing on the other side. So definitely a little bit of execution that needs to be done there. Um, for the side of USAE. So Phoenix for Bork only allowed 3 times, and they are how many wins with it?
Probably
3.
100%.
Yeah, 3 and
Oh,
0. And it's been banned. I'm surprised only 10 times. I'm gonna guess that Tin hasn't played in all of their games, and I would be correct. So in the 13 games that Tin has played, he's been played 3 times and banned 10 times. There you go.
wow.
Yeah.
So that sounds like people are trying to match up well. So as their final pick here, they're looking for probably maybe a sustained DPS to kind of round things out.
Yeah.
They have a lot of poke on already on the one side with the Ming. I think it'd be, hey, Miss Sylvanas looks great. I was
That
gonna say,
helps.
I'm like,
That helps
Mhm.
with the blow up too. If they're gonna do the mind control into the double stuns, that's there you go.
Yeah, I like it. This is going to be an interesting matchup here just because of the amount of sustain and tankiness that is on Bork's side, right? Like Phoenix having effectively 2 health bars, Hogger being quote unquote almost ungankable, and then you've got Hanzo is going to be so far away with all the vision control. Man, I don't know. This is going to be. I think this is going to come down to who gets the correct initiation off. If you're able to get a good backline dig in onto Haka and disrupt the Hanzo or disrupt the Anduin, that can just 100% ruin things for you. But if Joe and them are allowed to truly fight front to back, they may not be able to have an Uberak survive through that burst in lockdown.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts on the drafts, but let's introduce our combatants in the blue trunks. U.S. Army Esports, Badger on Anubarak, Heathcliff on Li Ming, Simeon on Lucio, Fracture on Sylvanas, Shrinks on Dahaka.
And then on the red side, we have Bork's side of the moon. We have Tin on his Phoenix doing a happy dance. Matlock playing Joanna, Akari on Hanzo, Silver Spy on the Anduin, and Yatre playing Hogger.
Yeah, so I'm looking at these comps. I'm like, USAE, they have a real nice, like, let's burrow in on this guy and blow him up comp. But Bork has an answer to that with the Anduin. And then on the flip side, you have Johanduin. The Condemn into the Light Bomb is a really effective and also fairly straightforward combination to execute. And plus, they let Tin kind of get on his hero du jour. So I think Bork has maybe a little bit of an easier comp to execute.
Mm-hmm.
And so I kind of like them just a little bit more for that reason. I felt like they kind of got what they wanted a little bit more, if that makes sense.
Yep. The other thing that's difficult is that Bork honestly has a better wave clear advantage in the 4-man, so they're going to have priority on rotations, priority on camps. So as much as Li Ming and Sylvanas do bring a good amount of wave clear, they sadly don't be able to clear the wave instantly with using that Joanna or using that Phoenix. So I think it's going to come down to good rotations, good vision control, and Akari doing a great job consistently putting out that vision arrow, sonic arrow there to make sure that there's no invades coming. But here comes Dahaka. There's 5. That's a dig in right there on Matlock. Joanna just pushes D. Can Joanna get away? Does Shriek still have a tongue? Oh, dude. Nope, they're out. Okay, well, they get the camp. They committed a lot of resources here, and well done retreating and not dying. And Dahaka didn't have to dig. Dahaka could dig back up, and there he goes.
Yep, and that's whether he dug bottom or not. His dig allowed him to do that. And that's the advantage that USA will have, is leveraging that Dahaka into the camp there. And well done by them. The flip side is Hogger is having some fun in the top lane while Dahaka was gone there.
What's crazy is that in total minion experience, they're still ahead. Even with that invade, they are right now ahead on XP. And so Dahaka did not miss much when it comes to being able to do that invade for minions. So,
yeah, you can kind of see both these teams have the kind of veteran feel to them. USAE understanding that the Dahaka allows them to be aggro on the camps. And Bork, something you see a lot of newer teams or maybe not quite as experienced teams or lower division teams do, is they have a hard time letting go of things. Like, they don't want to just concede things. And Bork had no issue just conceding that camp as they should have, and that's a commentary on their experience with the game.
So being able to take the Sylvanas has got the empowered minions there, so you see some bonus damage popping up on the structures. It's actually one of the fun things about Sylvanas on this map, is you can make those camps do bonus damage work since they're explosion damage. Oh, a little bit of a pause.
Pause there?
Okay.
Oh, all right. Well, we'll go to the other screen then. Yeah, and
That's fine.
I didn't think about the, as you're saying it with the Sylv on the empowered mercs, the kind of synergy between Dahaka allowing them to get more camps, which is actually amplified by the Sylvanas Mercenary Queen. They kind of complement each other that way, and that's not something I thought of, right? That those empowered mercs were the mercs from the other side of the map, right? So those weren't even their mercs. That's kind of double value out of that, out of the trait there, that the Dahaka allows them to do that.
Yeah, and if that's their game plan, is to try and consistently harass this bottom lane with the mercenaries and with numbers up, that's definitely going to help them in their strategy. And so we kind of see already from Bork's side of the moon, they're definitely feeling a little bit more scrappy, especially with Tin and Akari being able to control vision. And, oh, we're jumping back in. 3 altars are up. Looks like Sylvanas is already posted up top left, and Dahaka's actually looking at invading on the right. And, oh man, they're not in position. Is Yatra going to be able to poke this Dahaka? Oh, he got him. Okay, so how's bottom looking? The Slivers by them are channeling the objective there, and they're going to have to dig out. So it looks like there's this dance, 2v3, 3v2, and they've conceded the bottom one there, and I think USA Esports is going to be able to bully off the Hogger. So
yeah,
2 channels in favor of USA Esports.
Yeah, nice job there by USAE. And these games just are always kind of interesting. Nice juke there by Tin with the teleporting out of the Ming nonsense. You can have a team that just maybe controls it pre-10, but these games are just totally different. It's just the dynamics between the characters and the abilities, once these teams hit 10s, can just change so dramatically. Tin in trouble, question mark? He did teleport away just before the tongue, and then it goes right back in. 2v1, I don't care. I'm just going to go beat you up more.
Tin obviously displaying his limits there, and tongue missed, unfortunately. And yeah, we can see just, where that wave clear advantage is happening for them. It's like even though they dove here down on Matlock pushes D, and Joanna walks away. But they're able to have Hogger work on this top camp, and it looks like Dahaka has sniffed it out, but can Dahaka do anything? As they have this epic duel of offlaners at the top. Watching the bottom real quick, we still see them.
Dahaka's going to win that, I think.
Oh!
Maybe? Oh, avoided avoided Tasmanian Devil, and the camp hasn't reset. It started to heal just a little bit, but not all the way. Oh, Fracture is here. Now Yatri's in trouble. Oh, no.
Go.
Oh,
Hog's
good,
been
good,
alive.
good anti-juke.
Oh, just not enough.
He put the teleport on the other way
Mm-hmm.
and didn't actually teleport there. It was like a juke of the juke.
Yep. And well done from Bork, realizing that essentially they're going to be not able to respond top is to their camp and are in position and already starting to bully out the bottom half here of USA Esports to get an early channel. We'll see if they're able to do that. Ming giving lots of pestering and poking.
Yeah, and health bars, you know, lower a little bit on red here. It is orb build Ming, so you certainly don't want to eat those orbs. Hogger showing top. There goes the burrow in on the Anduin. Lucio is in the back harassing, also taking a lot of Hondo damage. Johanna very low. Lucio trying to run him down.
Tin barely got that poke.
Yeah, and I mean, very split kind of engagement here from Bork. That allows USAE to get the channel and the camp. And once again, experience very even, Rock. Very even.
Yeah. I said they're doing a great job. I actually quite like the talent pickups here from Bork on level 7s. They said being able to go Hanzo W quest, and you see he just completed it there. And so being able to help him do those camps a little bit quicker, but also later on as the games go and everyone's going to be standing near the channels, there's lots of opportunities to shotgun those Ws in for bonus damage.
So let's see how it goes now. The 10s are nearly on for both sides. Very, very close.
Yeah, so their advantage is right now an XP Zolan Mercs. So it's quite good that essentially U.S. Army Esports is playing to their win condition of escort those Mercs in. Look at that 60% bonus damage.
And Tin is on the flank here getting run down. He already used his blink. He is able to get away, but a Planet Cracker hits some multiples, but it does not save Hogger. There's the Johanna Light Bomb, but Joe is very low. Very aggressive play there. That's going to be a Ming reset as the Anduin is cocooned. Now Hanzo in trouble. He gets Minged, and here comes another Ming. And
oh, man.
Another, oh my goodness. Bork side of the moon is in trouble. They kind of feel like they're coming from a couple of different places, you know, like Tin is on the flank and the rest of the team was on the bottom.
If they would have been able to like make an adjustment half a second, because it looked like Tin saw that Yatre was in danger and fired the laser on the Hogger, which he did get the kill, right? Like, so 1 for 1, but like the light bomb plus condemn was like that hit 3. Like if we could have just synced up by half a second, that would have been potentially a meme beam on 4 players and netted kills instead of just the slow death of giving Ming reset after reset. But I like this idea of them trading here. Obviously, neither team being able to really force. And Fracture doing a great job. Almost took down this whole building down here. Oh, is the Archer going to get it? Yep.
Yeah, the one thing I was concerned with, and I even noted it in the moment, like the Condemn Light Bomb was actually really good, except the fact that Matlock was like half health when he didn't. I think if that was a full health Johanna, that whole thing is totally different. But he was just kind of low to be doing that. That's a double stun out of Akari. Blessed Shield does not hit, however. There goes the Ming to drive back the members of Bork, and no harm done either way.
Yeah, I'm glad to see them essentially using their cooldowns every 60 seconds, right? Like this definitely, the more that it's panning out, feels like almost a press R teamfight comp, right? Like if they land all of their Rs, you will be in trouble. And so getting them dissynced and, you know, they're, I think appropriately not fighting. They're sitting here saying, you can have that, we'll just clear it, because if we try and fight you without our R buttons, we're going to be at a big disadvantage. So, well played by both teams to kind of take the advantages as they see them. Oh my gosh, 19 health. Okay, there it goes.
And now they're going to try to walk these bad boys in. So 6-1 kills in favor of USAE. Looking really strong thus far. Badger does not hit anybody. Gets, I think that was high five by Lucio.
Yeah, it was definitely, he saved him there, making sure that he did not get any type of follow-up. CC push on him when he digs in too far. There's the combo. You see everything kind of lining up. That's a lot of damage up on Joe as well as Badger. Fracture digs out, and despite being a 5v4, they were not able to get their kills. Once again, maybe just half a step too early. Hogger has that, what is that, the Earthquake? No. Shoot. I'm a terrible caster. He has the Shockwave, and wasn't able to effectively use it there.
Yeah,
So
they had all their damage locked in and struggled to secure a kill, and that's not a great sign. We actually haven't talked about heroics yet, so we've seen them, but it is Wailing Arrow, right? Yeah, Wailing Arrow, Disintegrate Beam, High Five, Cocoon, and Isolation for Dahaka. And on the flip side, it is Stun Arrow for Hanzo, Blessed Shield, Light Bomb, Shockwave, as you mentioned, and the big laser from Phoenix.
yeah, and honestly, if they land all of those CCs, like just as you listed them all again, like I don't see how anyone lives through 4 CCs in a full duration meme beam, right? Like Lucio's high five is only gonna save one person, maybe himself, but you know, it's not like he has sound barrier or something that can help them live through that giant amount of sustained damage that's gonna be coming out from Bork.
So worth noting, I showed in the top lane, Fracture is just sitting in this bush here and almost killed Hogger by himself. Dahaka now burrowing down. There goes the stun arrow. It hits 2 way in the back, but the rest of Bork is just too far to follow up, and Phoenix goes down. Joe is tanking the fort, and down goes Joe. Down goes Hanzo. And 3 shots going in for USAE, who are they're just in control right now, Rock. No two ways about it.
Mhm. Yeah, I said that one there, it looked like they had 2 kills that were just a hair shy, right? Like the engage there on Badger was quite well. They landed 2 of their stuns back to back. They had the damage for it. And then with Phoenix essentially going this reset blink build, right? Like every time the kill happens, he can blink again for free. He's blinking in aggressive and just barely missing those kills.
Yep.
So, and there we go. We have the channel interrupting that channel for now.
It's not going to matter, though. That's all 3 for USAE. Below Badger very low, forced to burrow away. The Shockwave catches him on the backside, though. Ming throws in all her damage and just basically peels with orbs.
Oh my gosh, Fracture over here trying to hunt down that Hogger, not letting him escape. The Light Bomb landed. There's the arrow. Can Tin finish up this damage? No, Tin's backing up. Madlock's going in, though. It's like, oh, all right. And they managed to save this top right one. I don't know if they can channel it, but they've at least saved the game so far.
Oh, Matlock, he's in a rough place there. Down he goes. Phoenix is probably in for a world of hurt when he gets out of that cocoon. Oh, good pull. That's actually the first pull I think we've seen, it feels like. They keep cocooning the Anduin, so it makes it hard for him to pull people when he's taking a nap.
Oh my gosh, is this game?
It
There's
would
only
be.
1 shot left. Oh no, they have to... Oh my goodness, they needed some sort of heroic endeavor. Here comes Tin, being the hero, getting that Simeon? I don't know. Lucio's really low. Tim, no! Oh, they almost pulled him onto the point. Oh man, that is unfortunate. And that will be GG going over to USA Esports. Wow, just really looked super strong this game with Fracture on the Sylvanas. I think there was some big plays there.
They looked really good. That game was super clean. I mean, 13-1 in the kills department. You know, that's about as clean as it's going to get, frankly. Lucio had some big time high fives. The cocoons all seemed to get value. And the cocoon target on the Anduin makes total sense, right? You cocoon the healer, you get Li Ming her resets, and it's go time. And Bork just seemed just a smidgen more disjointed, I would say. Couldn't quite get their stuff to overlap in the way they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the other thing that ended up being very effective in USA Army's esports favor is just the fact that they were able to constantly have numbers up on those engages.
Yep.
There were several fights where just barely missed kills from Bork's Side of the Moon turned into Ming getting 4 kills, 5 kills with her resets. And, you know, if there's anything that we can do to prevent, you know, Ming from getting all of that bonus damage, like, or even just stopping the 1 kill, would have really put them in a good spot. And so great heads up play from Badger to make sure Anduin didn't save the 1.
Yeah, it's kind of the nature of Ming's trait is she, you know, can definitely be a little bit all or nothing-y, right? If she gets her resets, she can be really strong. But if she doesn't, you know, it's but you know, 13-1, she got her resets.
Yep. I almost wonder kind of like what what pivots or what things do we look to change for game two for Bork side of the moon?
Yeah,
Because like I,
that's a good question. Um, we've all had these kind of mid matchup conversations, what adjustments you want to make. And sometimes, the answer is let's just throw that one out and start over. Like, there was
hmm
a lot of things that didn't go great for Bork. So I don't know if there's any one thing that was going to change the outcome of that.
hmm
So maybe you just kind of don't look for one thing to change. You just kind of try to change everything. Let's do something totally different. Let's go to Battlefield of Eternity.
hmm Yeah, or they said I think like looking at I'm trying to recall now as we're like playing back the different engages and the different things that happened throughout that match. Outside of the cocoon, did any of the engages from U.S. Army Esports like make an instant kill? Right, like
Hmm.
because when you're playing a new brack, you're trying to get those 4v5 fights, and you're taking out a player and you're trying to quickly blow someone up while you have that advantage. And as much as both Sylvanas and Ming were hitting their buttons and overlapping their CCs to make sure that they never really got a chance to push buttons with the silencing arrow, I don't know if they necessarily engaged and got like blow up kills, right? Like they got some rotational picks where people were out of position, but it almost felt like Bork forced a lot of engagements, and then when their combo didn't land, USA Esports was happy to engage and kill someone.
Yeah, it kind of felt like when USAE got the first kill. Um, the first kill was always, it felt like very close to going either way, but the second,
hmm
third, and fourth kills always came real quick.
Yeah, I'd agree
Um,
with that.
so, and just there were a couple times where it felt like Bork was kind of coming from a couple different directions. They weren't quite in a nice, organized way. They were split by terrain. And so it kind of felt like USAE could take their five and pick which of the two fights they wanted, whereas Bork was kind of in an awkward position to take the fight. And so there were, I think, two or three of those instances where it allowed USAE to dictate how the engagement went by just the nature of the way that the two teams were coming together.
Hmm Yeah, I think overall that it could have very easily went the other way if we would have had just a little bit tighter CC chains or combos or groupings for their abilities. Like they definitely showed they've got two or three of those combos down pat. Like
Yeah,
the condemn stun light bombs were great. Like those always hit 3 targets. And then the dragon arrow was hitting 2 targets, and Tin was able to follow up with the laser, but just weren't able to land just all of them,
yeah.
right?
I mean,
Like yeah.
that one light bomb combo in particular, like on the first big post 10 fight, I really liked it, except for Johanna was at 50% health when she came in. Like everything other than that looked really clean. Just she didn't have the health to do that, And there was a couple big Hanzo arrows that hit two or three targets, but the rest of the team was maybe a little too far away, or the target was a little too far back, and they just couldn't quite get everything to line up one on top of the
Mhm.
other.
Yeah. And honestly, like we're talking about how does Bork potentially come back in and do that stuff. Besides, like from USA East, so I'm like, it kind of felt like
Don't
things went
change
everything went
anything.
according to plan,
Yep.
right? Like everything looked great.
We're not
They
the
were able
team that
to
needs to adjust.
no, yeah, they were able to invade camps like they wanted. They used Sylvanas very well, right? They had that one fight top where they were happy to trade temples or altars, and Sylvanas was pushing bottom versus Hanzo, and Sylvanas almost took down the whole building by herself down there. And so just being able to use that Sylvanas for the sieging power with her trait, as well as having control over the fights to essentially dictate when they want to fight, they get to fight.
And
So.
that's not something we touched on a whole lot because off camera Sylv siege damage isn't something that kind of catches big team fights and big R buttons, right? But
hmm
I mean, a lot of those team fights, which were really close, were two level differences, right? And when they're that
hmm
close, that two level difference could be dictated by the fact that Silva's taking structures and that they are invading those camps. So those kind of off-camera things that set up the advantage in the team fight that makes the difference.
Hmm.
All right.
And then you want to introduce our second map?
I mean, I guess so.
Oh, okay. You don't have to.
We're gonna go to Sky Temple. I'm very excited about it.
I I honestly hate this map, so whatever. I'm glad you're
It's
excited about it.
it's fine. I have the issue I have with Sky Temple is if you play it correctly and you get up in structures, you're incentivized to not interact with the other team.
Hmm.
Um,
It,
and so it can make for a boring match if one of the teams kind of plays it like you're supposed to, right? Hey, we're up a fort,
mhm,
we're up a talent tier, we're cool trading, and the other
mhm.
team, either has to take a fight down a tier or and it's not quite as fun and interactive as a lot of these other maps are.
Yeah. As we're getting ready to load into Sky Temple, I've noticed that both teams have swapped out a player or tagged someone in
Oh,
from off the ropes.
oh,
So it looks like Bacon is now in this evening. I
who
said still have 10, but
who
I
doesn't
think
love
Bacon,
bacon?
right? So Bacon looks like they've tagged out for Ikari or Iraqi. I forget which spelling it was. I think it's Ikari. And then I see B Sanger 82 over on USA Esports in this match, and I think that replaced. Oh no, it didn't. I actually don't know who B Singer played, or maybe B Singer is the same one. I just don't remember
Mm,
the name.
I don't think so. Someone in chat help us out. But I
So
think B
yeah,
Singer is new.
yeah, I think B Singer is new as well.
I wonder, as there's the gray main ban again, and totally understandable.
Hmm.
This is a map you could see in ABBA ban too. This is a great ABBA map. Um, I've not so much played on, but I'm aware of teams that. And this isn't a philosophy that I subscribe to, just because it's not my preferred style of play. But some teams like to have 7 players where everybody plays equally, and they'll kind of sub people in and out. So I wonder if this is kind of that, or it's somebody wasn't available this time, or kind of bringing somebody in for a certain strategy or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. It's one of the nice things about NGS, right? Is that you do have that flexibility, and so when real life happens, you do have the opportunity to sub, and you can work together to make sure that happens. And so a change up in bans there. Last time was Geary. This time they said no, thank you, Lucio. So I think the high fives definitely cleanse some of the CC chains, and so being able to make sure that that doesn't happen again means they can get more.
So Chad
Uh
is helping us out. Akari
huh.
is the name, and Heathcliff, who was in game one, tells us that they're putting in the first stringer now. So there you go. And Heathcliff was on the
Ah,
Ming, I'm pretty sure, if I recall, in game
that's
game
right.
one. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
So
Hmm.
some gosh darn fine orbing, if I recall.
Yep. Oh, and is Bacon at 420 the same Bacon that's in now? So Bacon it was watching the game and
Oh, that makes
got to,
sense.
man, look at all these guys supporting each other. So, and look at that first pick again, giving over the Joanna. I said I don't know. Joanna's really never bad. So
No,
being
not at
able
all.
to grab it for wave clear, safe vision, blinds, great engage at 10, or great cleanses at 10. I don't know. Most people don't play Falling Sword, so.
The kitchen sink of tanks, really. And we didn't really touch on it, but I really like that Lucio ban. The Lucio was super impactful in match one.
Mhm. Yeah, and then look at that. So everything's changing up so far. So switching over to the Bright Wing with Lucio being banned, and Shrinks from ETC or from Anubarak to ETC. So
It's
I
very
wonder,
rock of him.
right? No, I'll be intrigued to see. I don't get to I never get to cast ETC. Like no one picks it, so it'll be fun to see how Shrinks plays this ETC.
Back before you were able to let me play not tank when I casted, ETC was the only hero I would ever make build commentary on.
So, and then Bacon taking away that Sylvanas from Fracture.
Love it.
So I don't know, maybe a little bit of a choke for Fracture. Now there's no Grain Main and Sylvanas. He played very well last game,
Yeah.
and yeah, Dahaka coming out. That's a great idea. I said,
Maybe
I guess
did they revisit the Vala ban? Because that was, I think, was that their
that was
ban?
yeah they banned Vala previously. So the ban on Dahaka just to make sure they control the globals is what it's looking like.
Yeah, and I know Bacon plays Sylvanas too, so I think that's both a pick for him and doubling up as a denial as well, which is
Mm,
makes it it's a great pick.
yeah. And then Bailey Newbrack. Oh, so does Shrink show his
Oh,
hand? I didn't want to
interesting.
say anything. That could be an offlane ETC.
Interesting. What kind of a team runs offlane ETC? That's
I
bizarre.
I don't know. I don't know. So, but yes, if Shrinks is actually the offlane player Dahaka from last game, and now being able to have 2 globals on their team with the stage up, 3 globals with the stage up, and yeah, that pretty much confirms it. And Badger gets his Garrosh, which was banned last game.
Now, we've had this conversation before, just in kind of general theory crafting about heroes on the multiple globals. And my theory on the multiple globals, because there's no two ways about it. Having multiple globals played well can be oppressive and really strong. But I think it's really hard to do it well because there's a lot of overlap and communication really has to be on point. So I think, there's going to be a certain burden level of play for USAE to get more value out of 3 globals than they would have gotten out of 1, if that
Hmm.
makes sense.
Yeah. So like Triple Global, from what I recall during HGC days, was first ran by Endemic Esports, and they were probably one of the few teams that actually got enough value out of it. And what they ended up doing was a global would like a Dahaka would dig in to force a 4v5, and then the global, like a false said, would immediately fly back up. And so once they got their kill or their attempt, they would essentially miss 0 soak
Right,
and being able to like
right.
have those constant engages and move back and forth.
Yeah, so
And so,
wasn't even about globaling in necessarily, but when you got what you wanted, it was actually about globaling away.
yeah, being able to do both of those. So, yeah, and look at that. I like Zagara. Like I said, more vision control, more split push. This is definitely a more. Last game, I would say, was a very focused on getting kills and engage blowups. This time around, I don't see that. I see a lot more of a sustained damage composition coming out from USA Esports and being able to play the map, right? Like Garrosh is not only a great pick tank, but also a great wall tank.
Yeah,
So,
I think these fights are really going to come down to like, well, let's introduce. So first of all,
mhm,
U.S. Army Esports coming up with a huge point in game number 1, looking for the domination here. B. Sanger getting tagged in for game number 2 will be on Zagara, Fracture on Falstad, Badger on Garrosh, Simeon on Brightwing, and Shrinks on ETC.
mhm. Jumping over to Bork's side of the moon, we have our friends down here in the bottom lane getting ready to maybe cheese a tower. We have Bacon on Sylvanas tagging in. We've got Silver Spy again on Anduin, Matlock playing Joanna, Tin on his legendary Phoenix, and Yatre again on the Hogger.
Yeah, so what I started to say is I think in the context of just a straight up 5v5, I think Bork's side of the moon's comp is stronger.
Mhm.
Joe may have overstayed. Oh, yep, there she did. Oh, then Iron Skin's already down. Oh, Matlock, run.
Careful.
Great
You gotta
pull.
move.
Nice job. So I think in the context of a straight 5v5, Bork's composition is stronger. So if I am USAE, I kind of don't want to do that. I want to use these globals. I want 2v2. Well, actually, I should say I want 2v3s and 2v1s, right? I want to be taking these small skirmishes with numbers advantages pretty much all the time.
Mhm. Yeah, and I love the comment there from Tiger Gamers that talked about it looks like these two compositions essentially have a, potentially maybe a macro composition here from USA Army Esports and more of a micro and or team fight composition from Bork's side of the moon.
Right,
And
and Bork has the with the Sylv and the wave clear with the Joe, they have the ability to if they get picks to siege, but not just that is they can also decide that we can't respond to that global and trade effectively as well.
and yeah, like right now, you can see their wave clear advantage has enabled them to not only be ahead on the first camp, but Hogger, the camping machine that he is already working on the top one. And poor Fracture over here is he's trying his best, but he's just getting beat up by that camp.
Yeah, and like ETC cannot just straight up lane against Hogger. That's just never going to work very well. So they're in a little bit of kind of hold on till 10 mode, I think, is USAE, but very much a contrast in styles. I'm really interested to see what these guys kind of do with this, how USAE in particular runs this non-standard composition.
Yeah, I actually really like that the team has recognized that ETC in, you know, he doesn't really pick up wave clear till 7 with, oh wow, and there goes Hogger.
Yep, I was watching that. Gary got a toss and a stun under tower, followed by a poly, and the towers plus Garrosh smacking him with his chair was just enough damage to get that Hogger there.
Wow, well done. Yeah, I think one of the, I think the big thing there is the Brightwing changeup.
Yep.
Right, like most of the time Hogger can feel pretty invincible, but
and don't get thrown under towers. That too.
Even if he gets thrown under the towers, he can still spin away, but not when they have a polymorph.
And
so
good recognition by Bork that ETC cannot stop them, and they can keep pushing until somebody disappears from the mid lane.
This is one of the weird things about this composition, is that or composition and map. Sky Temple, to me, is one of the worst maps because it's essentially, it reminds me of Who Lines, where Whose Line is it anyway, where the only thing that matters is the buildings and nothing else matters.
Yeah.
And so if you're able to get the buildings and the objectives help you knock down the buildings, you will win the game over time. So, yeah, I don't know. I think that being able to get that early building damage from Bork, despite losing Hogger, is actually in their favor. We're looking right now, it looks like all 3 walls are almost down on the blue side here, as it looks like we're maybe going to fight here top. We got lots of CC on top of Matlock here. Oh, strategically using that knockback to not get thrown. I don't know. Just getting hit by the Temple minion up there.
Yeah, they're definitely skirmishing hard, but almost no, not almost, there are no assassins for either side. This is literally tank, a healer just brawling and nobody can kill each other. This top, I've never seen a fight like this. It's weird.
Yeah, I think Hogger eventually will win this out.
I would think now Falstad has arrived. But yeah, no, there's a 3v3 with neither team having an assassin.
Yeah, they're like, we don't need those. So.
In the bottom lane, yeah, Tin, I was just going to say the same thing. You see what he does, he trades out his shields for health, and he'll win that trade every time. You know, my team a couple seasons ago, we experimented with kind of Quotey Fingers global Phoenix iteration with the meme beam, and that's something they can use there as he teleports onto Zagara. Tin does. Oh no, those minions. God, Zagara, I really thought Tin was going to win that, honestly. The Zagara was so close.
Yeah. And then Brightwing able to TP in and save the day, and it looks like Silver Spy here is now running for his life top as they were trying to also engage top once Brightwing TP'd away, but they were unsuccessful. The boop from ETC the throw and boop just displaced Silver Spy enough that there was nothing that he could do.
And we also didn't talk about double boss control for USAE too.
Oh, almost triple? Goodness. That's if they go Maw. So. And then looking real quick at builds here, I said, let's see what our wonderful ETC did. Not that I don't care about everybody else. Actually, here comes Tin trying to jump in, and he's getting thrown. And oh my gosh, Fracture's getting the TP in to save him. Oh, Tin, 163. Matlock, 16. Oh my gosh.
That had shades of game 1, where just like, oh my god, they're so close to getting the kill, and they just can't quite do it.
Goodness, yeah, and so. But well done, well played from them. The Brightwing TP was just in time and gave them the confidence to re-engage. That's a taunt on Tin, and oh, the pull! Well done, Silver Spy, able to save his friend. So that was something that we talked about in the first game, that it was like, you know, if they do try and engage, the Anduin is such a pain in being able to make that save. So as Tens come online, Bork side of the moon, again, picks up Light Bomb, Shield, Blessed Shield, Wailing Arrow, Shockwave, and Planet Cracker. So swapping out the stun for the silence.
I'm kind of watching Bork. They were kind of waiting for something that never developed, and now they got to run all the way down bottom because Zagara is getting free push, and there's like 87 globals on USAE.
So looking real quick at USAE and their level 10s, they did not go Maw. They did go Nidus Network. So they've got Gus to control, they have Blink Heals, they have Taunt, and of course we have the Stage Dive.
Yeah. And ETC is just going to get this top fort, I would imagine, if he stays up there.
He pretty much gets it for free. Even if Hogger does contest him, he can now out-sustain. He went full AAE build with Speed Metal, and so he's able to just really siege things down with single target hits. So instead of taking the AoE hammer on, he just can really stand and box. Oh, and there's the Stage Dive in. He's jumping in on top, and Nope, I guess just was not able to get their kick. Oh, they want to get Matlock. He popped the D already. Can Joe get out of there?
Nope.
There's the busted shield. The mean beam and the shield. That's actually going to keep him up. Gosh, 20 health. And the gust saves him.
Oh,
no,
and he gusted right as Tin was teleporting in. It was fortunate/unfortunate timing, depending on whether you're red or blue there. All of that without Hogger here, though. So that's a small-ish victory, I guess, for Bork there.
That was crazy. Everyone pushed all their buttons and no one died. So that's honestly what Bork needs, right? Like you've got all the globals to commit their way down here, and now here comes Hogger. Oh, I thought for sure he was gonna just rip,
YOLO in there. I thought so too.
Right there on top of Simeon. But
no, he didn't. I don't think he had it. It's not up.
Ah, okay. So unfortunate. Well, and then ETC is already rocking and rolling all the way back up the top and into the camp.
Yeah. Small, very close, but small advantage here for Bork. I would love to see them step in with the Sylve if they're not going to allow it.
So we'll have to see here what comes next. Like I said, it looks like they're just trying to hold them down here, use the Sylvanas to get their push advantage. They see
there's Blessed Shield. Light Bomb, Condemn, Root. Oh no, it's under fort though. That's really the tough thing. It's very hard to secure kills under fort like that. Here comes ETC. They do dodge the stage dive and the power slide. And if they get out of this Bork, that's a lot of buttons pressed for no value. They could get something here by just leaving.
That building's still available for them, so I think they're going to be just fine. Wow, that combo was so close. Garrosh actually coming in clutch there and taunting the DPS from following up, and Sylvanas doing a great job of disabling that building so they could dive under that tower, and they didn't even take any tower shots from her trait. So, and well played there from Badger, taking advantage of the vision there and trying to jump on top of Matlock.
Yeah, and then it was like the parting of the Red Seas. They juked the stage dive and the follow-up Q.
So we'll have to see here if they respect the Garrosh again. Garrosh has been doing a great job of getting those hooks.
Big flank.
So here again. There's the gust. Oh, they silence. Light bomb. They hit 2. They hit 3. The meme beam's on target. Their gust. Oh, they shut down the building with bacon.
Oh,
and I think they're gonna make it.
They're still under fort though. It's not going to be shut down much longer. Look where bacon is. Oh my goodness! Kill the fort.
Fracture's got no health. Fracture's running away. Barrel roll, do a barrel roll! Oh, he's committed. He's like, I'm dead. That's like, I don't know if he could barrel roll over the wall and try and get out through the temple, but he's like, I'm dead.
Great timing there, too, for Bork. They have got both of these temples coming up. They're going to rip Boss. A little bit of hesitation, but that's where they're going. Going to have Boss push during the temples, but ETC is here. Falstad up in 15. Full commit from Bork.
I said they found it, but I don't know if they can do anything.
I don't think so.
Like
not without Falstad.
Yeah, it's just too late. And honestly, they're getting some good value too. Zagara took down top during this whole time, and so now with temples up, the game is actually pretty even.
Very close.
Right? Like there's a little XP lead here for Bork, but looking at structures, which this map is all about structures.
Oh no!
Yachtry's gonna live. Look at that. Look at that. Was calculated.
Never a doubt.
10 killed the building. That was the only threat. But, well, good attempt there from Badger to get a kill. And so, yeah, if they continue to knock down these buildings, they're going to come out ahead here.
Yeah, and this was my concern with the USAE comp, was that it was a little too macro-y and not quite enough team fighting.
I guess it just comes down to how it's played, right? Like, they've been doing a great job so far of controlling the macro and getting stuff, but, their one fight so far bottom that, you could hypothetically say was forced, right? Like, Bork went all in.
Yeah.
They didn't need to be there, and Sylvanas, was able to shut down the building. They got their 2 kills, and that just slowly put USAE on the back foot here on their
And it was a big light. Speaking of big light bomb, oh my goodness, Garrosh just gets deleted. Phoenix isn't here, nor does he need to be, frankly. He finished all of bottom, and Bork is going to get the entirety of both of these objectives. ETC is stunned, ETC is rooted, ETC is melting. Meme being from across the map, but Brightwing able to teleport away, but the blue health bars rock very low.
Yep. I said you talked about how you wouldn't even have him there. It was all Bacon. Bacon with that level 1 talent of Overwhelming Affliction doing 1% maximum health. And that's one thing that Garrosh does not like, is percentage health damage. penetrates his shield or his armor, sorry, and makes it to where he becomes a squishy tank. And so he was locked down there the entire time. The silence arrow came out. He couldn't push W to get any health back. So well played from Bork to be able to pick off the Garrosh there, and they almost got the ETC too.
Yep, VTC was very close. Actually, as was Brightwing.
Mm.
If the Phoenix laser would have been about a half a second earlier, ETC is really dead.
Yep. And
Speaking
look at
of
that laser.
Phoenix,
Well played, Badger. Well played.
there's the Blessed Shield Light Bomb. They're still going though, but Hogger is not here. I don't like it.
I think that was a desperate play to try and save Tin.
Sure.
But props to Garrosh. Garrosh did the throw taunt correctly to prevent Phoenix from actually being able to push any buttons. You have to really practice that in the try mode.
Oh
and
no,
throw
Matlock.
someone over you.
Your D is down, buddy. Be careful. There's the Syl. She's gonna get the Garrosh kill here, right? Oh!
Oh my gosh, the gust was so good. Well played, Fracture.
This is a great game, Rock.
I think 100% it's going to come down to, because of early game mistakes made by both teams, well, early mid-game mistakes made by both teams, this one is actually going to go to 20. And normally Sky Temple doesn't go to 20. You kind of have that, like you mentioned earlier, that snowball effect from whoever's ahead just stops fighting. And yeah, now that they continue to keep fighting, there might be trouble. Oh my gosh, that was a great pull from Silver Spy. Joe was 100% there without it. And but Mean Beam is down. So will they change how they're doing this? They are ahead. Are they just going to fight for one? Are they going to fight for two?
Well, and this is what I was saying about this map. If you're Bork, you don't have any interest in actually fighting. You have a full fort up. You can trade, get a keep, and give up a fort, and you'll take that trade every time.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and I don't know how the macro team really recovers from this, right? Like, sure, you can keep one person split and try and get all your lanes pushed, but you don't want to face check into a bush, Fracture.
Oh, Blessed Shield missed. The gust goes away. Oh, Sylv! Uh-oh, Joe in trouble. No, Iron Skin's still up. They being USAE, actually gave up top point there with that stage dive.
Hogger also left his point, so if they wanted to force this fight now, they have a chance. They've used a couple of their ults already, though.
Man,
they still have taunt available.
If I'm Bork, I back up. You're so close to 20.
Here's the taunt. Ooh, the taunts on the Joe. That's not really the target you want. The Blessed Shield or the Light Bomb comes out. You're on 20 health.
Everybody is so low.
Strings is dead. Oh, poor cow.
And the 5v5 team fight, I said I thought that favored Bork, but oh my goodness, so close.
They're just split both ways. Oh, they're going to lose Zagara, and there goes Badger. Badger tried his best to save Zagara there by throwing her out, but just could not.
Is this end?
I
think this is end.
Are they 5 up? Yeah, they're 5 up.
They're 5.
You end here.
Yeah, Gust can buy you some time.
Yep. But they have Sylvanas.
They have Giants. Kata's coming.
Yeah, sadly, I think, is game. That's wow. What a crazy swap in momentum. This was totally macro-oriented, well played, using the globals, and then just the more and more that the games came to closer team fights, it was in favor of the team fight team. GG's well played from Bork's side of the moon. Way to come back after such a rough start in game 1 there.
Yeah, and maybe you saw something I quite didn't there, and this was kind of my observation when we first went to triple global there. Was there anything that happened that game that you couldn't have executed with a single global as opposed to triple? Like, did they actually fully leverage a triple?
Not really. Unfortunately, I think they needed either Falstead or Zagara, right? Because like the problem that they had is that they're both 2 sustained damage dealers, and they have a burst tank, right? Like they have 2 CC or 2 tanks between the Garrosh and the ETC, but still their best chance to kill someone is during the taunt / polymorph then slide combination. So they would essentially have to have one target 100% unable to push buttons for 6 seconds to get a kill, even with the Falstead, right? Like Falstead did go AA, which is important to be able to siege and to be able to get stacks and stuff. But Falstead was not really by himself. He was roaming around as a 3-man. And so, I don't know. I think that as much as the triple global was good, I think the problem came down to their team fight, and I would have loved to see Zagara actually go Maw.
Yeah,
How many times were they clumped or running in and trying to follow up on a Joe, and just being able to Maw as part of their follow up or even boss control? That one time when Falstead was dead, maybe they could have walked to the boss with the Maw and done something. But yeah, GG's from both teams here. I quite liked it. I said the momentum shift really happened when the global macro team just kept trying to fight. They didn't really have to, right? Like they despite taking all the globals, they use them for team fight. And
rather
Bork says,
than
"Thanks, I want to fight."
absolutely, yeah. Rather than leveraging that into some kind of advantage that Bork had to respond to. And I like the
Mhm,
Brightwing play. Like, just forget the Brightwing global part of it, but the Brightwing
mhm,
player Simeon actually played really well. Like, regardless of globals or not. I think a Falstad Brightwing and then a regular solo laner, Sonya or Imperius or Leo
mhm,
with like just a regular 4-man damage dealer. Then you have two globals and a team fightier comp. I think they could have probably gotten maybe a little more out of that. That's kind of my
mhm.
observation on it. Like,
Yeah,
you never
and
saw a big stage dive, that really shut something down or forced something out.
they had the one stage dive
Oh,
that
you're right. The
that
one, the
remember
one
when
did
you like
one really
split
good
the
one. Yeah.
yeah, they had like split the sea down there and just everything sadly missed. But like yeah, I loved the ETC. I think it definitely was played well. But the damage structure, it just felt like we weren't able to secure kills. And like I said, if you're the macro team, you don't want to be forcing fights, especially when you're up. Your game plan worked. You guys were up the entire first like at least 12 levels of the game. And then like there was that one fight that was forced bottom underneath their base, underneath their building, where they like Bork committed three or four players down there, right? They had Sylvanas, they had Anduin. I think they had all four players down there versus two, and they really did not need to secure that building when Zagar is already pushing in at the keep top. So yeah, I think maybe it was just a little bit too team fight focused still, despite having their strengths in macro and pushing buildings.
That was a really interesting game and kind of a study of contrasting styles, though, in those comps. And I think I
Hmm.
think you're right that ultimately USAE, it's not even that they didn't play it well. It's just the style that they played into the opposite of the style that they drafted.
Yeah, I think that's very good analysis because if you're gonna play macro, play to your strengths, play to your win conditions. Try not to give them the clumped up, press R fights,
Right.
or if anything, take those fights after they've already thrown all their buttons.
Right.
But even
Or
then, you don't really want to fight. Just keep pushing. That map's all about buildings.
yeah, or leverage those globals into the 3v2s and the 2v1s, right? Rather than the
Hmm.
5v5s. Fighting is okay, but you've got the macro. Why would you ever want to fight even? Fight with the advantage because you have that global mobility.
Totally. And so as we're getting in and looking at a recap, we actually do know where we're going for game three. So today, final match for all the marbles, the fake marbles, as you mentioned before, will be on Battlefield of Eternity. And so I don't know who actually picked it. You typed something in the log.
USAE did. They actually picked all three maps. USAE has had map pick in game one, game two, and game three.
Oh,
So I don't know that I've seen that in a little bit, but so
yeah. I said, well, I think it flipped, right? I think game two after the loss, Bork took first pick,
yeah.
right? So,
But I will
and it
say
looks like,
three
go ahead.
different style maps. So I
Hmm.
think we'll see a totally different style again. Towers to Sky to BOE, all of them have totally different styles and prioritization on heroes and compositional styles. So I think we'll see another kind of change in what we see.
As I'm looking at this last bit here, they've also tagged out again. So Heathcliff is back. So another tag out type of situation here. Was Heathcliff did a Ming was the
Yeah,
first
he
game?
was Ming in game number one, just throwing out
Ooh,
those orbs.
Well, Ming's a pretty good racer on this map, so that might be something that they have to watch out for, or at least consider as they run into the ban phase here.
All right. Well, we have ours, Rock, from us, from Bork, from USAE, and I think we're going to be jumping into draft any moment now.
I thought everyone
Any
had
moment
ready.
now. Yeah, they did. I was trying to time it
Okay.
with them pressing the button, but I failed. So any moment now.
Any
Three, two,
moment.
there we go. Right now. Come on, you guys counted down. Oh, yeah, there we go.
It's all right. It's all good. All right. Uh, yeah, I'd be intrigued to see because so far Bork only changed one hero in between the two games, right? Like they essentially drafted
hmm
Joe, Anduin, Phoenix, Hogger, and then that flipped, right? It was either the
hmm
Hanzo or the Sylvanas.
Right, and the
And
Silv I think
so,
worked a little bit better. I think Silv's just a little generally stronger right now.
well, actually, both teams have tagged back in. So Tin is now back in for
Well, Tin
Bork
was in
on
last
the
game
side of
because
the
he
moon.
played Phoenix last game too, so
Sorry,
he's been all three.
it's
Akari,
Akari's back in
Akari, yeah.
for Bacon. Correct. So both teams now kind of have to make a decision, right? Like Hanzo's a good racer, and that's what Akari played in game one.
I
And
like
so
that ban.
look at that.
I
A
like that
change up
ban.
already.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a let's enough of Anduin. Anduin, stop saving people from taunts.
It just kind of occurred to me what that game two felt like a little bit because Bork just seemed just slightly their timing was just a hair off game one, and the light bomb Johanna stuff was really on point in game two. It almost felt like I play when I don't get a warm up game before a match. But like the timing is just
Hmm.
not quite there. But this time there will be no Johanduin because USAE recognizing that was problematic in game two, and they're just not going to have any of that nonsense.
I actually like that they changed up their bans, right? And there's the priority on their race,
Yep.
right? So I guess there isn't a Ming player on the side of Bork, so they're not, or they're not afraid of Ming, right? So Heathcliff here gets a chance to grab Ming, who's a great racer for this map.
And he played well in
And
game one.
yeah, and I think you're right. The ban change up prevents some, or it's like show me something new, and look at that, an
And
early Varian.
that and that that Anduin ban makes a lot more sense now. We talked about the changing between game one and two, how USAE is like, well, we don't need to change anything, everything, and now you have this flip in game two. Well, Bork's like, well, we're not going to change our bans, everything went great, and USAE changed up those bans to that Johanna Anduin combo, which is really potent.
Yeah, and then obviously Varian. I don't know if they're truly picking it, but they're
Ooh,
hinting that the tank is Varian, so that hopefully will deter some Phoenix play from Tin. So I'll be intrigued to see what Tin plays instead, since he's been playing Phoenix all night.
yeah, and then they have the kind of showing the blow up comp with the Varian and the ban of the Anduin, and then Bork responds with, well, we will meet your resets with these massive health pools. Look at these
Definitely
two big
Diablo
beefy
and
boys.
Blaze. Hmm. With Diablo being able to take spell armor as well can be huge, and so wow, they banned away their own Brightwing. I felt like Brightwing did good last game.
I totally, but I wonder they must have something else in mind. Is this Tyrande?
Oh, Stukov. That's duh. Taunt plus Stukov.
Well,
That's a that's a good idea.
well, now is it Tyrande? Is that
I think
the
you're right.
right? You can pick it now or last. It's not terribly contested, but this is one of the few maps where she gets a little more viability. Plus the oh, so this is C Smash then, right?
I don't know. Them again going with the double tank that could be taunt variant in the off
Oh,
lane. Oh
oh,
my
whoa,
goodness.
whoa,
All the bodies.
whoa,
So is that Illidan variant?
whoa. What's going? Whoa. Is this D-Storm Uther? Just more melee?
I I don't know. That's I'm
Wow,
intrigued.
that's
I
so
think
many
in
bodies.
so what do you do in the multiple bodies? You grab some percentage health damage,
Malthael?
maybe like a Malthael or even a KT would be really strong with all of her
Sure.
clumping. And wow,
And instead we go
Ti-
Bloodlust. Is this Bloodlust?
I don't know.
I'm intrigued. I'm so intrigued, Rock.
Yeah, bloodlust. No, I don't think you bloodlust here. I think you still go ancestral because their damage is gonna come down to does Ming get resets, right? I think
Yeah,
right now
that's
Varian is gonna be essentially Illidan, right? He's gonna go Twin Blades.
sure.
I'd say it's like, and so you're gonna have a Fracture that runs around and camps as Sylvanas, and
Ooh,
wow, and then a
wow.
just we won't die White Mane. Oh my goodness, this
This
is
is
yeah,
spicy,
I like it.
spicy. If I tried to guess how this draft would have gone, I don't, I
I,
don't think I ever would have gone to where it was. This is going to be all kinds of nutty.
the Bork side looks kind of somewhat familiar, right? Like Matlock still on a strong engaged tank.
Sure.
Yatre still on a very strong, top tier offlaner with the Blaze versus the Hogger. Tin still playing Phoenix. Akari played Hanzo last in game one. So all of those look, sameish.
Hmm.
But yeah, USA Army Esports again with a completely different draft from game one, game two, and game three. So I'm very intrigued. I'm excited to see how this one goes.
Yeah, and also, Varian does have the healing reduction talent, which can be impactful against Ancestral if that's the talent he opts to take as part of his, I assume, Twin Blades build. Let's see which way. What did it go? Is it looking Twin
We won't
Bladesy?
know till 4.
Keen's Quest. So yeah, that's usually the Colossus Smash or Twin Blades. But here we go. Game number 3. USA Esports doing everything they can to sneak into these playoffs. Badger back on Anubarak. Heathcliff back on Li Ming. Fracture on Sonya. Simeon on Whitemane. And Shrinks on Varian.
Going over to Bork side of the moon, we have Silver Spy on the Rhaegar, Matlock playing Diablo, Akari playing Hanzo again, Tin, of course, his trusted Phoenix, and up on the top we've got Yatre playing on Blaze.
And I wonder, when the last time Tin got to play Phoenix 3 games in a row was.
I don't know.
It's probably been a hot minute, I would imagine.
It's like, I don't know, between Bacon and Akari, if that was just what they thought they needed this evening was Phoenix over the other stuff, or I don't know who their main 5 is, but getting to see all of the team members swap in and out is always fun.
Yeah, I think the numbers that I saw seemed like they kind of move people in and out, so maybe not a main 5 so much as a rotational 6, something like that. Phoenix looking spicy on the flank here. Gonna beat up Li Ming and then blink away? Question mark?
Yep.
There's the blink.
Is that enough of a harass for them to actually take this bottom camp? You see Silver Spy there, obviously
They're
the Rhaegar.
just, nope. Now they're fishing it out. There's the Vision Arrow. Now Dibbles is here. Now we're going to have a fight over this camp. There's the smash into the wall. There's leaning stuff. Anubarak rode in, but he is really low. Sonya is spinning all over, but still Anubarak is very low. Matlock body blocking him despite the fact that he's low. Matlock's still up. Badger's still up. Who is going to die? Hanzo. Hanzo's going to die.
Wow. And that whole time the camp was never finished.
Yep. Blaze sticking it to Varian in the off lane as you would expect pre-4. Strength's basically job is just to hang in there.
Yep, he's slowly losing his lane with Grace, but that's the goal. So
I'm not gonna lie,
goodness.
I thought
all
for sure.
Oh,
I know. My God, thank you so much for the subscribes. I appreciate it.
Oh,
It's
no,
completely unexpected as Tin goes down again.
Oh,
There you go. Bacon
again.
says they are on a 6. Yeah, so it's a 6-man rotational roster. Makes sense. Totally.
So, and then with those early picks, they were able to get 4, and we were wrong. It is a Colossus Smash. So who needs an Illidan when you can just scream your way to victory?
Yeah, like when they first showed the Anubarak variant, that's kind of what I thought it would be. But when they went to Sonya 2, kind of wasn't sure. I wonder if Sonya is going to go, because I think this Dibbles could be problematic. Does the Sonya go? Oh, the percentage at was it 13 or 16 on the W? Oh, Tin jukes the thing.
Slams.
Yeah.
Goodness gracious, Tin is unafraid on this. Phoenix.
No, he's like,
oh
you will respect my authority. Oh, he's about to eat orbs. Oh, good jukes.
Yeah. So, Goodness gracious.
Meanwhile, in the bottom lane on the point, Anub'arak is warding off Bork. Dibbles eats an Immortal Stun, and now we have fighting around the top one. Tin is still not afraid. And halftime, gonna go over to USAE.
Yeah, without Tin being available, their race is nowhere near as good with Varian and Ming. So now this time, they're invading. They're not gonna let them get the free race again.
There's the C smash. There's the Dibbles charge plus the flip. There it is. I think that Varian is DEAD dead. There we go.
Okay.
And Sonya's not here. The charge does land onto the white main, and then there's the Dibbles walking in onto the sledge, looking for any kind of flip. I don't think it's off cooldown yet. Tin getting his damage. Hanzo backing up to burn, while the rest of Bork is going to defend here. So a nice little moment there for Bork to get back in this race here.
I like the defense. I'm a little worried about them diving in right here, though, because Sonya
gonna do this.
Showing up top. Well, Sonya can sneak it if he wants, but I was more worried that they were taking a 4v5. But it looks like Finn, oh my gosh, that slam was enough. And there goes Tin. Nice kill there from Fracture on the flank. And despite landing a good cleanse, that is also Blaze down. So a great first defense there from Bork, but just the amount of halftime damage done, they won by half, which is that, everything they got in the first halftime of that Immortal.
Yeah, something I don't think we talk about enough is, when we're comparing comps, we talk about damage and we talk about wave clear on heroics, but simply having bigger health pools is a thing, and USAE just has more health to play with in this comp.
Wow, and I see, look at this. USAE's putting 4 down here and saying, we don't care about this Immortal, we're actually going to get split push pressure here. And
a noob can do that.
Yeah. And so they got both walls down, a noob here going underneath, and oh my goodness, goodbye, Tin.
Yeah, Heathcliff showing why he loves that Ming, man. Those damage was on point.
And great follow-up CC there from Fracture, and Fracture even going more of a burst build with a Poison Spear on 7. So not necessarily full slam jam, but looking to make sure that whatever they stun is going to die.
I mean, there's plenty of setup for him to queue off that Q, right? He can go off of the Anub'arak stun, he can go off the Varian E. So plenty of setup for him to land that Q as well.
So we'll have to see here if things change at 10. It feels like Bork has been a level 10 team so far, both game 1 and game 2. Badger again looking for it. It was a good look. Maybe showed a little bit too much there in the bush, but not what they can do. And Bork's just gonna hold, right? They're like, we need 10s, please leave us alone.
Yeah.
And, that's a lot of people rotating up the top. Are they going for Blaze or they just want the camp?
Why not both?
Why not both? Oh no. Oh no,
here
they come.
They're showing on the wave.
Dun. Whoa!
Oh. Varian went on a little adventure there.
The trajectory is just too strong. And I like that Bork, as soon as they saw they were top, they pushed in and tried to get that Anub'arak bottom.
Yep. Good play by both teams here. I think this fort's probably going to go down with 10s for USAE, though.
Yeah, they just don't have any way to... Well, actually, I really like this from USAE. Don't force it, right? Like, you're up 10s, find something worth fighting
They're going to catch him going to the camp.
Look at that, yep. Or towards the Immortal.
Or just flank him. Straight flank.
Oh my gosh!
Great peel by Blaze. I think it'll save Rhaegar.
It does.
It does. Great play by Yatra on the Blaze there to save Rhaegar. To not worry about the Sonya, but zone out the damage. And it negated their level 10 advantage. That was a big time play by Yatra there on the Blaze.
Yeah. And then being able to have 2 ults burned is
no joke.
Yeah, it's huge.
So we have Leap, Disintegrate Beam, Divine Reckoning, Cocoon, and of course C-Smash for USAE.
Then looking over at Bork's side, they're still going for a one-shot. Look at that, they've got the arrow APOC combo with the laser on top of it. So if they're able, like we saw, and Akari land some really good arrows in game 1. So if they're able to hit a good arrow, there's a guaranteed APOC behind it, and then they're not moving, right? Like, it makes Tin's job real easy to not miss the laser. So we'll see if the team. Ooh, there's the cocoon. They're going in deep. They just leaped on 4. There's a bunker down. Get in the bunker quick. Oh my gosh, the Ancestral landed. Tin is going to live. There's the stun. There's the APOC. There's going to be 3 hit by the APOC. Beams on target. There goes the noob. Oh, he's going to live. Oh my gosh, they're all going to live. The noob rat goes down.
That was absolutely batty. Fracture almost got to Tin with the spear through the wall too, but Tin, between the bunker and the Ancestral, lives. Bork wins that engagement. While they were killing, though, USAE was getting some free burn. Are they going to get one more? I assume Dibbles has got to flip in a moment, but no. Oh, Tin! Run, Tin, run!
Right now, I'm pretty sure that Yatre is my MVP. This game is outrageous. The bunker was absolutely perfect. It 100% saved Tin. It was a great Ancestral from Silver Spy. Honestly, USAE did it all right. They got the cocoon, they got everything they wanted, and they just were not able to get that Ming first kill, right? Like, that's one of the things we talked about. They have bodies to live, but without that first kill, they just weren't able to finish.
Yeah, and the Ancestral and the bunker proved to be just enough despite all of that. And you know what? And also the APOC. The APOC was underneath all of that as well, so we can't kind of overlook that. But
it ended up being super value. He pushed it pretty much as soon as he got out of the cocoon. He was cocoon that entire time.
Yeah, and you know, I think what we saw there as Bork gets leapt on and no teleport for Tin, but he is under his own tower. Fracture going super aggro while the Immortal pushes free. I think we're going to see that there, like, if USAE gets engaged onto, they're going to die. I think, like, kind of whichever team gets their engagement as the APOC goes out and the arrow hits a noob and there's the stun, there's a noob. Yep, there, and that's what I was saying. Whichever team gets their initiation off, that's going to be the team that is successful more often than not.
Yeah. Like, no offense to the APOC. I was like, what is this APOC doing? And then the arrow just was perfect.
Yep.
I can't believe it. I'm like
from way downtown.
Yeah, I'm used to the APOCs, you know, like you RQ flip or something to where you guarantee that your APOC lands, but like it was a raw APOC and Fracture's up here. Can he get on top of that?
Oh, Yatre again! Oh my goodness!
Oh, almost.
And a good try by Tin to break it up with, oh, there's the leap. Great play by Fracture and Shrinks there. That's big time.
Yep, and now they're going to get this camp up top.
And Fort.
Yeah, and Fort. Yeah. So, wow, this game is so back and forth. I was just about to say, look at this amazing, you know, head comeback from Bork, being able to get their win, survive, push with the building, and just immediately flip back the other way. Like I said, we've got USAE again in the driver's seat as we approach 14s here.
I want this game to go to level 27 with both teams murdering each other to where there's nobody left, no keeps, and like a 2% core. That's what I want. Is that too much to ask?
Oh man, well, we'll see. I don't. This feels like a like you said earlier, a blow up v blow up matchup with the way that these guys have been playing. Whoever gets that first kill really is gonna set the tempo for the rest.
I could legitimately see late game team fights going to where both teams are so murdered that neither team wins and neither team can do anything with it, if that makes sense. They're gonna rip this fort, right?
I think you get the fort for free as long as you hit it quick.
Yep, like right now.
Yep, and it's gone. So
and now you Ming on the flank, Ming on the flank. Oh,
that's a great hit on Akari. Akari, good juke there.
Oh,
my gosh, the
here's the combo. Here's the combo. Oh, because Dibbles is in the thingy.
Yep, there it is. They're focusing on that Varian. Varian's already used his shield. Varian's doing as much damage as he can. He charges out. Oh my gosh.
The white main ult. The white main ult. That was no trade. The white main ult kept Varian up. 1 kill. Heathcliff pops off, and now is this going to turn into an ace? Yes, I think it is.
And this is your Ming problem.
Yeah. Oh, that was so close. The white main heroic absolutely saved that. Oh my goodness.
I 100% agree with this call. You take the
oh yeah.
We'll go to the objectives.
Or at least the wall. At the minimum, the wall.
Yeah.
Because you do have a little homework to do on the top.
I guess. Oh yeah. You don't have creeps coming.
Yeah.
No. That's correct. That's
so
correct.
So you get the wall, get halftime, and then back and clear.
Goodness. So this is obviously a free halftime. Will they have abilities up to fight the next one? Right? Like APOC's down for 30,
and
so
16s.
They're not really gonna be able to do that.
And 16s. Oh my god. And you know the level difference is a big deal when you have all those health bars too.
I was gonna say the saving grace here, honestly, is that that there is still a bottom building to
Yes.
go that they have to go through, and so if they can, well, I guess they're choosing to fight.
Here comes Ming. Or I mean, Sonya.
Sonya. So they're back again as 5. 16s, 15s. Good job watching the flank there from Yatre. Okay, good. They backed up. What I was saying was, I would have rather seen them hit the Immortal there, because they know they can't get to 16s in time. So if you can at least stop the bleeding, hopefully that doesn't result in it keeps going down. Like, this fort is dead no matter what. So hopefully they'll be able to survive on both sides of that.
And heads up play by USAE, they tagged the camp as well, and Blaze, uh-oh. Oh no. Oh no, that's smart. That was really smart by Yatre. Look at this. He's like, I'm going way back here. Nobody will ever find me.
No.
But they're just gonna rip this top keep. Great call.
Yep.
Great call by USAE. Great shot calling all around here by these guys.
Yep. Free building with the new Barak being able to backdoor, and Blaze having to go on the journey of his life. You know, it's like they were numbers down. So, and now they get to come back around and put some wall damage out, right? Like, obviously, no one's really safe. That Rehgar rotation
This Immortal is still almost full health even. Because it was so shielded.
Yep. That was a full shield, right?
Yeah, it was very close to a full shield, yeah.
We'll see if they're able to finish it off here. Like I said, the Immortals, yeah, they're going to save the building. Yes, the keep was safe. It was a great play from them. Good macro calling. 16s are available, and so this is really going to be their small window here to take another fight before anything important happens. I don't know if they can convince everyone to come down here and fight in this nice little choke down on the bottom.
That's conveniently the size of all of their heroics.
Yep. We'll see if they get there in time. Oh, good disengaging thing from a new Barak there.
Right there, yeah. You know, this USAE in the driver's seat obviously right now, but small map, one big team fight goes the other way, and this thing is a totally different game. Especially post 20. Like, if you win hard enough post 20 on BOE with just to keep up with the objective and burning through buildings, you know, this could be easily a post 20 wipe them and Bork wins the game kind of thing.
Yeah. And Bork's unfortunately gonna have to just find that opportunity, right? Like, if they can't land their, I'll call it a wombo combo, but if they just can't get their blow up between the 3 CCs, they may not be able to get through all of the damage there. And Falcon, Raka shouting out the hi moms. Yes, hi Valk's
mom. Hi Wit's mom. Uh-oh, Dibbles. Oh no! Run! Run, Akari, they got him! Oh my goodness.
I don't think we do anything
there. And, you know, if Bork isn't the team that is initiating, I think they're in trouble. Like, they want to be going forward. They want to be wall slamming into APOCing, into arrowing, into meme beaning, right? They don't want Sonya leaping onto them. That's not going to work.
Yep. So, yeah, we'll have to see how this all pans out. I think with the Immortal coming up, that's a guaranteed halftime. The question is Hanzo going to be up to be on the second half at least? It's they burn this pretty quick. I don't even know if Hanzo's going to be up in time.
No, I don't think he will. He'll be up for halftime, but not full time. And with the catapults coming in the top lane and the camp, USAE has no motivation whatsoever to take a fight here until Bork shows in the top lane, basically.
Yeah, Hanzo's here now though, so they have a chance. Like I said, it's the good positioning defensively for them. This is their shot. Honestly, this is actually really good. If an arrow hits here with a big clump on top of the Immortal, here comes the arrow, and the APOC hits on top of the White Mane. The White Mane's getting absolutely destroyed, and she is gone. Oh my gosh, is that enough to actually turn this game?
That's what they needed. Big time needed that. Now Varian's in trouble. No White Mane heroic to save him this time.
He went in deep on Akari, and Akari was able to live long enough for the Ancestral to come from Silver Spy, and once again, the momentum swings. Can they continue this? Tin going in deep, trying to get this fracture as far as Li Ming is over the wall. You didn't even see him fracture 100 HP, 1,000 HP. The Cocoon is kind of a disengaging Cocoon? I don't know, but unfortunately it wasn't enough to save fracture.
Yeah, Bork getting up off the mat here, honestly. And they're gonna get this Immortal.
Yeah, Akari's over here is their race. Really well done.
Do they tag this camp? Does Bork tag the camp?
It feels greedy. They are down 3. We'll see.
They're going to do it.
Like they're looking at it.
Yep, they're 100% going to do it.
I think they just checked it. I don't think they want it. I think they just checked it.
Oh, come on. Where's the greed?
Well, well, you've got to do some homework, right? Like you want to fight bottom here as 5. Like you're gonna have Arrow and Apoc ready. You're not gonna have Meme Beam ready, at least immediately, for this bottom engage. So if they can drag this out to where they have all 3 of those ults up again, right? Like they can initiate their combo. They can get that blow up, whether it's on White
Yeah,
Mane or Ming or whatever, right?
Bork,
Like outside
Bork,
of those 2 heroes, I don't think they can blow up anyone. That's
yeah,
that
Bork
combo.
does need to be careful though, because Sonya's going to be up in 4. Blaze is very obviously not here.
Yep.
So they
Okay,
can, they being USAE, they can opt to just kind of blow past the Immortal, honestly, and try to get something going here if they choose to.
Yep, here comes Blaze. They need to find something. They're about
Yep.
to hit. He's a piece now.
They
The
need to
whole
be
team
patient
is
for Blaze to
right.
get here, though. Big patience, big patience. I like Rhaegar getting that sidewall out of the way. Now they look for something. Here we go.
They get the building, but they don't want to force. So they're starting to back
I think
up.
they should force. You can't let them force onto you. That doesn't work.
Yeah, maybe the angle wasn't right. Like there's
Maybe.
no walls thing there. Oh, there's the arrow. Oh,
Oh,
no.
they missed. No, that's a problem. Me? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Blaze is gonna live. Bunker. They're both sitting in the bunker waiting to die. Before Rhaegar tried, but Rhaegar got cocooned in the back line. Rhaegar passes. That's a nice job of Diablo sharing the Ancestral there, but I don't think Silver gets out from that.
I think it's going to be game. No, maybe not. One more for sure would have been game.
So Sonya Siege is pretty good. Ming Siege,
Okay.
with it can be okay.
They won't
I
have
don't.
the wave with them, but they will have a Nubrak Beetles. But they're going to try to go straight in. It's
Oh, they're
close.
taking the camp.
Oh no, they're getting the camp. Let's say, I don't make a core hall call here if I'm USA.
Gosh.
Although if you kill Phoenix here, now you make a core call.
Yup.
Although
Oh my
Heathcliff
God.
is low.
That was quite the bait. Heathcliff almost died to Phoenix.
I know.
So, can they still core? The Rhaegar's down.
Rhaegar up for 29, but only 15 on Blaze. I don't know.
Kari does not necessarily have the best defense either. It's not like they have the Li Ming, right? So, do they play for the kill instead? Like
Yeah, Blaze is up in 4. Shields aren't even down yet.
I think they should leave.
I do too. I agree. There's going to be a stun into a stun, into another stun.
Oh, but
The Blaze goes down, the White Mane ult, and there's the Protect, and now that's going to be it.
Yep, GG's. Well done, USA Esports. What a comeback. Way to keep fighting.
Holy moly.
Yeah, great job. I can't believe that amount of damage that came out. Yeah, you can't underestimate the White Mane's heals. They it's definitely was what broke their back was not being able to secure kills through White Mane. Once they deleted White Mane, right? White Mane only died once. When they got the delete on White Mane, they won that whole team fight.
Yep.
But
And the one time they didn't.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean
I said it.
they have all melee, right? So they all just pile onto the White Mane ulti, and you can't fight there. It's just you gotta leave or lose.
Yeah. Man, that was well played from USA Esports, and congratulations, a 2-1 victory over for them.
That's
So
big
that puts
time.
them up at what was it, 17 points?
Yeah, it puts
So
them 5 points up on Crimson 5.
okay,
So
so
that
it's in
means
Crimson's hands now. Crimson has to get
they have 2 matches
um,
left, and they have to at least pick up 5 points in those 2 matches, and that's against us on Sunday and Fountain Snipers to be determined.
so they need a domination
And a
and a
2-1
victory.
and a 2-1 victory at minimum.
Okay.
That's a tough ask. That's a big
Mm-hmm.
win for USAE.
Mm-hmm.
All
Yeah,
right.
I think that punches their ticket pretty well to the playoffs. Like I said, and obviously with what they're bringing with Heathcliff and them rotating their team in, they showed well. It was really good, and even Bork being able to rotate people in, it's fun. It's fun to watch the different team members and the different team dynamics as they all come together.
Well, let's see. Why don't we jump into one of these lobbies down here? Let's see. Why don't we jump into like lobby 2, and we'll see if we can snag one of those guys to chat for a couple minutes.
Sounds good. Looking over talents real quick at the end of the game here.
Oh, I didn't even have to ping him. Here he is. What a guy.
Just typing.
Well, that was a really fun set. Really close, really back and forth. But for you guys, I know you, like everybody else in our division, is keeping a real close watch on the standings. You guys got to feel real good coming out of that one.
Definitely. kind of a nail biter right there. And
Oh yeah.
in game two, I really thought we had control of the game, but just one team fight. I mean, it's hot, so one bad team fight, you can lose it.
I mean, you almost had it game three. You guys really had Bork on the ropes until once again that one team fight, and all of a sudden it's a game again.
Yeah, definitely.
So you guys get to watch the rest of the week. Watch for C5 to see if they can catch you. How you guys feeling? How's your season been going overall? I know you guys have a little bit of kind of wonky scheduling due to in real life commitments, but how's this team doing, and how are your thoughts to the end of the season?
Um, we're definitely just looking for a strong finish. We've managed to make playoffs every single season we've ever played in NGS, and so we're hoping to make it this time too. Of course, I still want to wish luck to all teams in the division, but I am hoping that we can make playoffs and keep playing.
Yeah,
This is a really competitive Div C. This
it
is
is. It's
probably
been
the hardest Div C I've played in.
it's very close. Like the standings, like 3 to 9 and 10 are just super tight in particular, and nobody is one out. Everybody's taking games off of everybody else. It's been a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
Yeah. Some questions for you, Fracture. So in game one, like I said, as you were going through and looking at your heroes, you ended up grabbing a Sylvanas, and goodness gracious, you were split pushing and empowering those minions and just controlling that bottom objective on Towers of Doom. Was that kind of your guys' gameplay and thought from the beginning? Was, every camp that's on the map will be ours, and we'll try and empower it with our Sylvanas, or it just Shrinks is one of those guys that loves to invade and dig in, and so he's calling plays and dive in the back line, and you're having to pull him back by the reins. It's like, Shrink, stop inting. And I don't know. I don't know how your team dynamics go. But how was game one for you for Sylvanas and Towers of Doom?
Uh, Honestly, no. That actually genuinely was not the game plan. I actually was gonna go Sonya that game and dive against the Anduin.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a way to kind of turn off like the Joe Anduin synergy with like Light Bomb and either Joe ult is like insane and honestly super
Mm-hmm.
dangerous and scary. And so my first thought was like, hey, I'll go Sonya and we can, like counter that engage was kind of my plan. But I don't know. It kind of just didn't shake out that way. And Simeon, my healer, was like, hey, maybe just go Sylve and just try to use Wailing to counter the engage. And that was kind of how it planned out. I don't even play Merc Queen most of the time, or really ever. I almost always go Possession. But since I didn't go
Mm-hmm.
Sonya and I couldn't do the camps, I kind of felt like I had to go Merc Queen to try to like get some of that PVE power back.
I think it was the
It
right
worked a lot
call.
better than I thought.
Yeah, worked great.
Mm-hmm. And it was just super cool to see your guys' synergy there. Like when Bork missed their engages, like there was, if you go back and watch it, or maybe you lived it, and so you were in sheer panic, and then came back and it's like, oh, they threw everything, go back in. But there was at least like two engages where some of their stuff was just off by a hair. And then, a new Barak would dig back in, and then your silence arrow on top of that just shut them down and prevented them from getting out. A new Barak's cocoons were great at stopping Anduin from pulling and saving people. And then Heathcliff just got the resets. That one time, Heathcliff almost got a full ace between all of the resets they're able to get. And so it was a great game one. It was super well played by you guys, as well as being able to control the top side, especially with Dahaka and the not the oh my gosh, who was your other hero besides Sylvanas that game?
It was Lucio
The other
Sylvanas,
DPS should have been
It was
Leeming.
it
Leeming,
was
of course, Leeming.
yeah, it's like you and Shrinks were just putting it to Yatre on Hogger. Every time Hogger thought he could go take that camp, you managed to just sneak on up there and turn into a 2v1. And poor Yatre didn't live, and other times he got away. But those constant backs meant that you guys got a team fight +1 advantage on those objectives. So it was really well done. You guys used your globals really well in game one, and so kind of I don't want to steal all of Mongoose' thunder, but for game two, oh my goodness, it was almost too many globals. You guys had what, three globals between the False
Yeah,
Head, the ETC, and the Brightwing? Kind of, what was your thoughts, or how were you thinking of playing that one? Was that kind of what you had in mind? Was a super macro-y composition?
definitely. And one of the one of the unfortunate things, like most of our divisions teams are like us. Most of the division loves team fighting and drafts for team fighting. So we kind of tried to pick up a little more macro, and I think we kind of went too heavy-handed the other way, where we drafted so much for the split push that like our team fights suffered too much. So kind of a
Hmm.
little bit of like, oh shoot, pull back on that. Like we went a little bit too hard on that because when the 5v5s came, like if none of them made a mistake, we couldn't pull a kill. We only would get kills like when they messed up. So if they played it properly, we kind of just get ran over with Faustad Zagara. Even given that we had two main tanks in our front line. And also, I think Strings did a really, really good job on the ETC. It's something we're trying to pick up a little bit more, but it's a little weird to have a main tank as the offlaner, and we're still not used to it. So I don't know how comfortable I feel about it, but
I mean, that's a real thing. I'm like a level 100 and whatever something ETC, and I don't like playing ETC in the off lane because I'm just not comfortable with it, and I've played a ton of ETC, so it is definitely a total complete. Even if you play ETC, it is the style is totally different.
If one thing he can look at if he wants to try some talents differences, not that I actually really liked the um, E build slash auto attack just because he could solo the objective and not take any damage, which I think is what his idea was. Right, he can just sit there and beat on the temples, and he doesn't need healing. He doesn't need help. Like he can solo the camps. It'll take him forever, but he can solo the camps without taking damage because of the E build and auto attacks. But if he's looking to have more of a team fight impact or trying to clear waves faster, he can take either the other two talents on seven. He can take either the every time someone's hit by a loudspeaker
Pinball
and then you
Wizard.
slide them, they do 300% damage, or you can take Echo Pedal, and that does just AoE pulsing damage.
Yeah, the
So,
Pinball Wizard does surprising burst damage.
hmm so, but yeah, I loved it. I thought it was a great pick, and I saw the stage dives. I feel like two stage dives were like on point, and then just sadly didn't result in anything. Like they did the stage dive did what it was supposed to do. Like it split the people up. They panicked. Everyone ran, and then he was ready to slide, and then the slide either missed or Joe pushed D and just didn't get value out of it. And then I thought for sure we're gonna see some funny interactions with like Garrosh throwing ETC and then ETC sliding in and getting value there, but like yeah, it was almost all the throws had to go backwards just to try and counter, like you said, the very strong team fight and Wombo synergy that they brought in game two. So, and then that brings us to
definitely.
game three. And oh my goodness, you guys said no more. You just got rid of Joe and Anduin. They're like, play something else. And
Well, it's kind of also like we call it ego checking, like when you leave something up, knowing that it's like strong and knowing like game one, I wasn't really too scared of Joe. I think we played around the Joe really well, but game two,
mm-hmm,
it was a problem because we didn't have as much damage coming out of my Falstad pick, and I was squishier than Sylph. So it was like suddenly it's like, okay, now all of a sudden Joe feels really strong and she's like running us over. Um, and I know they just played Joe Anduin and then played Joe Anduin, and I feel like I would be stupid to let them for a third time play Joe Anduin. It did mean we had to let the Blaze through, and I think Yatre did a really good job on Blaze. He got an amazing bunker
Mm-hmm.
uh, that really just saved all of them when we were diving.
Yep.
Which
yeah,
I'll definitely give him a shout out. I thought that bunker was incredible. And props to his team because one of the worst things about playing Blaze is dropping a god tier bunker and no one getting in it, but they actually did. So
they did.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
definitely shout out Bork. That was a nice play. I'm not even gonna
Mm-hmm.
lie. That was a good ass bunker. Um, but we had to let the Blaze through. They took Diablo from us, which I was actually really surprised to see because we wanted Diablo. I was not expecting them to take it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um, but we kind of just figured like, okay, if we don't take the Joe Anduin, we have to give up on getting. As soon as they locked the Blaze Diablo, I was like, yeah, give up on fighting front to back. We're
Mm.
we're not cutting through this front line ever.
Yeah.
So someone else figure out how to follow me when I go for a leap. Like figure out how to get there, but like we're not gonna. By the time we finish a Diablo Blaze frontline, Hanzo and Phoenix will tear us to pieces.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that was kind of the thought process in draft was just trying to reacting. We actually really wanted the Diablo into the Phoenix,
Mm-hmm.
but I mean it is what it is. You can't always get all your shiny toys, you know.
Mm-hmm. No, it worked great, and you guys definitely had some great CC follow-ups. And in Heathcliff, man, there was a couple times where all of the damage was right on point, and like I'm like, oh, that Phoenix got stunned, it'll be okay, and then just everything landed and Phoenix just got blown up. I was like, well, so much for that. Because it was just one stun from Sonya or one stun combo from a Nubrak, and Phoenix was dead. So yeah, was great. And I definitely in draft was like, oh, okay, taunt Varian, you're not gonna let the Phoenix through. Yeah, we have no problem playing a Phoenix. We've got Shield Smash or whatever on 13. And then seeing the Sonya and the Nubrak, I was like, what? I was like, oh my gosh, this is like triple bruisery, maybe twin blades. Like, I don't know what's happening here. And then simming with the white main, I was like, well, they potentially have a can't die comp.
Yeah, that
While that
white
ults up.
main ultimate on Varian got so much mega value in that top lane fight where that Varian looked super dead, but the white man ult man just kept him up and just flippity floppity forming resets later, and this game is totally turned around.
Definitely. Sim did a really good job. White Man is a hero that's like has insane like she's kind of like the better medic in terms of her healing output because she can do it for multiple people. But the big problem is that like she doesn't have as much CC utility, and so like we don't really play her a ton, even though Sim's really good at it. But so many healers were banned or picked that game, and I was kind of like, can we get away with White Man when we have triple frontline to protect her? Like, can we just do White Man? Like, and everyone's like, oh yeah, do White Man, White Man. It was kind of cool. So it was actually really fun to get Simeon on it. He definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, some mega value out of it too. She throws down that big AoE ult, and you guys are all kind of melee E, and let's just stand here, and if they want to fight with us, we're gonna win because we're all standing in this ult. Well,
Definitely.
big win for you guys. You guys get to kind of kick back and watch the rest of the division play out. But congratulations on a big win tonight. Who you want to shout out on your way out?
Uh, go with my usual. So I want to shout out you guys for casting us. We really appreciate it, and thank you very much. Um, I will shout out NGS as a whole for giving us this avenue to play at all. We really appreciate it. And then US Army Esports for playing under the name. Shout out to my team and their families for putting up all the crazy timings we have to deal with. And honestly, we're still trying to figure out how we're going to do playoffs because I have a field exercise coming up like 24th of October. So kind of panicking, trying to figure that out, but we're going to work it out hopefully. Um, but other than that, I was really happy with my team's play tonight. I think everyone did really good. The Sky Temple game was close, and we'll probably have some things to clean up on that because we went a little bit too hard at the macro. But other than that, we're definitely happy with the result. Happy to take a win and hopefully solidify our playoff spot. Um, given that it's super duper close.
Very close.
For this division.
Yeah, very close.
So we will see how it all shakes out. Hopefully, we see all of you guys again in playoffs. Rock, we want our rematch with you guys. So
hey, it'll be fun. I'm excited. You guys have always been a great group, and it's fun to play, especially against so many folks that not only bring dynamic drafts, but love to support and have fun. So thank you again for your service and for your time. And it's always great to have you guys being able to do that as part of your service here with the Army.
definitely, and we appreciate the support. You guys take care. All right.
All right, bud. Have a good night, and
Sounds
congrats
good.
to the team again.
Good night. Thanks for the cast.
Good night.
All right, Rock. I was looking for somebody to host, but I didn't find anybody, so I think we are just gonna say good night and bounce out of here.
Well, you can throw it to me if you want. I
Oh,
don't know if you
hey,
really care.
that's true.
but-
If you're gonna cast, I'll throw it to you. If you're gonna cast stream, I'll throw it to you. We're all gonna go watch Rock and I throw on games now. We talked all that. We talked about other teams throwing, and now we get to do it. Excellent. All right, hold on.
Yep. All right. Sounds great. Thank you guys. Thanks for supporting. And once again, that was an awesome cast. Congratulations to USA Esports on the 2-1 victory over Bork. And we will catch you on the next one.
Good night, guys.